Boruto is complicated. This isn't a video where I'm just going to be shitting on Boruto's entire existence, because I was probably one of the two people who was actually excited for when Boruto got announced and when we found out we were actually getting, sort of a sequel to Naruto. But as for everybody else who were watching Boruto, as time has went on, Boruto just isn't it. Boruto has probably missed every category that an anime could miss, as far as, fight scenes, drama, and just general excitement around the anime itself, because everything that Boruto was supposed to be, it wasn't. Like I said earlier, this isn't a video of me just shitting on Boruto, because I actually liked Boruto when it first came out, and about 100 some episodes in, I was enjoying myself. But the more and more that I watched Boruto, the more that I kept saying to myself that this is unnecessary. Like, all of this is just extremely unnecessary, like every part of it. And it is not even Boruto's fault. Boruto itself was unnecessary. And when I say unnecessary, after Naruto Shippuden, we did not need a sequel to Naruto, at least in the way that we got a sequel, and it's not his fault. And I'm not blaming, Boruto's, creative direction or anything like that. It's just sequels, especially anime sequels about their kids and the journey that their kids go on, genuinely never really do well. The Inuyasha sequel was a great example of this. That didn't do well because nobody really cares about the kids' story, because they don't have one. The kids in the Narutoverse don't really have a story to tell, because every story has already been told in Naruto. There was nothing left to tell. But I just kind of want to take a little trip down memory lane with Boruto and kind of, explain why Boruto was unnecessary.
Now a word from our sponsor.
Hi, before using Dubby, I was a father of 12. But now, after Dubby, I'm a deadbeat dad. Let's see what we got in here for the Dubby. We got the motherfucking. We got the motherfucking. Oh shit. So the first flavor of Dubby, we have peach and beet.
You what?
Second flavor of Dubby, we got the dragon maple. Next flavor we have laxative.
What?
Laxy grenade. Next flavor we have this is a zero sugar powder pack. And last but certainly not least, we have Pines Berry Splash. I'm Wasabi, and this has been your Dubby advertisement.
Unfortunately, Boruto fell into the Legend of Korra trap, in which a lot of animes tend to do. And the Legend of Korra trap is essentially that you have this anime or you have this cartoon, which was a revolutionary thing. It changed the game in every single possible way for, cartoons or anime. And then the series ends, everybody loves it, everybody raves about it. It's the best cartoon, it's the best anime, it's the best show. But then some years later, we have a sequel about the kids, 20, 30 years in the future, about the kids, even though there's no more story to tell within the world and everybody hates it. Sound familiar? And a lot of shows fall into this trap. I just made a video about, movie sequels, but a lot of movies fall into this trap too, to where there is no more story to tell within the world that they're trying to make a sequel for. There's no more story to tell. It's not like the end of the show left off on a cliffhanger. It's not like the show left off, with, some secrets that still haven't been told, with some villain identities that haven't been revealed. Everything in Naruto had already been revealed. Everything had already been dealt with. Every villain had already been dealt with, killed. Everything was done. There was no more story to tell about Naruto, about their kids, about anything that was going on, really. But if you just had to extend Naruto into the Boruto world, I could see them extending Naruto into the Boruto movie I could see them extending Boruto into the movie where they fought Momoshiki. That's as far as I could see them extending Naruto past that. But all this other shit that we've gotten with, Sasuke fighting dinosaurs, them going back in time through a magic turtle to see Jiraiya and Naruto, all of that shit is just extra stuff that they just made up that we didn't need. The Naruto universe didn't need this. This doesn't help the bigger Naruto verse at hand. It does not help it at all. Because Boruto fell into the same trap that Yashahiro Yashahime fell into about 4 years ago. Yashahime being a sequel to Inuyasha, one of the most, Yashahime was trying to, basically follow one of the most, legendary, animes of the 90s, Inuyasha, which is basically an impossible task. Yashahime didn't really have a story to tell, and it didn't really last long. It lasted 2 years because there wasn't really much story to tell. There wasn't much to tell after, everything happened. And that's the main problem with Boruto, is that there's no more story to tell within the Naruto world. We've told every single story. We've went through every single love story, every storyline that we possibly could with Naruto. Hell, we extended it past the point to where a lot of people thought that it would go when they introduced Kaguya, basically, transforming through Madara. Once we got past that point, it was like, why is there any more, movie, why is there any more lore with Naruto when we've already dealt with every single bit of lore that we possibly could have? But Boruto is basically the unnecessary next generation. Naruto didn't need a next generation. Boruto is basically the equivalent of One Piece having a next generation and there being a treasure called the fucking Two Piece. Like, there is no more story to tell once One Piece is done. One Piece has told every fucking bit of story that they could possibly fucking come up with, and they're still going. So after One Piece is done, there better not be a fucking One Piece next generation and they gotta find another fucking treasure. Don't do that. We don't need it. Just like how we didn't need a Yashahime, we didn't need Boruto. A lot of animes did not need the sequel, and the sequel just being, oh, they all had kids, so watch their kids do shit. Because hell, even when Boruto first started, I was curious about what stories they're even gonna tell, because the world is at peace. Like, the ninja world is finally at peace. They just had another ninja war. Everybody's happy, everybody had kids, everybody's, went to therapy and dealt with all the trauma from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden and shit. Everything seemed to be wrapped up nice for Naruto to become Hokage, and that'd be the last that we see of Naruto. There was no more story to tell. I even think in one of the early Boruto episodes, like, one of the characters said, like, what do you even do now, since the war is over? Like, what is the point of really, like, training ninjas in the same way that you do? It's like, there's no point. Like, in Boruto now, there's no point in them having, a Force of Death, tuning exam, because there's no war right now. They don't need to be, in this forest where they can, fall into some poisonous water and die. So now they just play capture the flag because there's no war. There hasn't been a war in, a decade, it seems like, a decade plus. There is no war. There is no, big villain at hand. But since Boruto needed to be a series, they needed to come up with another villain. They needed to come up with a reason for Chaos to be in the Leaf Village yet again, when they didn't need to. There didn't need to be more chaos in Naruto. There didn't need to be more, villains. We didn't need to see Kaguya's clan basically try to revive her. Every bit of story has already been told. Every bit of, lore that we could get has already been learned about and studied and overanalyzed, a decade and 20 years later. And Boruto will and even if Boruto was still like a decent anime or like a really good anime, it will always be compared to Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. And Boruto will never beat the comparison fights. Boruto will always and forever be compared to Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. The fight scenes will always be compared to, Rock Lee versus Gaara, Sasuke versus Naruto, and Madara versus the the Shinobi Alliance. Everything will always be compared to Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and people will always say that Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is better. Boruto will, in a lot of people's lives, no matter what Boruto does, there will never be better than Naruto. It will never be better than Naruto. No matter what people say, it'll always be better than no matter what people say, Naruto will always be better. Naruto will always be the superior show. It'll always be the superior anime. Naruto will always be peak and Boruto will always be shit. Like, you can't really convince people, especially now that you basically they basically lost just about every bit of the Naruto fan base now, and everybody's just kind of laughing at Boruto now. Like, people are just watching Boruto to kind of see if it ever gets better. Like, people are basically just waiting for a time skip at this point. Like, we're not, like, a lot of people aren't even really paying attention to Boruto, nowhere near to the extent that we were when we were waiting on, like, the new Naruto and new Naruto Shippuden episodes. I know that Boruto is going to continue on and is going to finish this whole anime series and everything, but will it be remembered? No, it won't. Boruto will be remembered as like the failed experiment in a similar way to the Legend of Korra. The Legend of Korra will kind of be remembered as like the failed Avatar the Last Airbender experiment that had better fights, because that's kind of all the Legend of Korra had to me, was just better fight scenes. But as far as like, you know, story, characters, nobody really remembers the Legend of Korra like that. It's not really remembered for what it did right. It's more or less remembered for being, The Legend of Korra isn't remembered for a lot of good things. It's just remembered for being a sequel that nobody wanted.